Alright, today we're going to be going over some precautions when taking apart the instrument cluster trim for an E39. Mine's a 03 530, but I believe they're all the same. So I've already taken out the old piece, and you can see it's missing some tabs down here. I've actually ordered a new piece. You can see it has the tabs in there. So when I was transferring over the switches here, the fog light switch and the light switch, I noticed that parts of it are broken and falling apart, and it falls in line with the tabs over here. But I figured out that most likely it was probably the previous person. I know somebody had been in there before, so I want to go over some things to watch out for. I'll get to the tabs in a little bit, but the switches themselves. So going in the junkyard and taking a few of these out, I figured out the wrong way to do it, so I'm going to tell you how not to do it and how to do it correctly, actually. So here is one piece of it, part that you see inside the car. You can see that this is actually supposed to be part of this black piece right here, and it's broken. Same with the other switch. There's the knob that you see inside, and then I lost track of my switches. Alright, sorry about that. I forgot I had the other switch still in the car hooked up, because apparently when you disconnect it, it thinks the lights are turned on. So I had to put that in when I went to the junkyard. So anyway, so we have the switch part, the electrical part. We have a nut. We have the piece you see on the trim panel, and then the knob. So one thing I think that people do is, with this unit installed in the car, actually I'll start off with how it's assembled. Alright, put the pieces together just loosely, and in doing that I forgot that part. But anyway, when this is in the car installed and everything is secure, if somebody tries to pull the knob off, you're actually creating so much force on the plastic part that's broke, it will end up cracking it, and then you're done after that. The whole switch mechanism is really supported by that one little part of piece of plastic that breaks. So when you are pulling the knob off, all that pressure is on that one piece, because nothing's holding the backside. So what you should do, if you want to get the switches out and whatnot, is get the whole piece out first with the switches on it, and then remove the switches while this is in your hand. So to remove it, what you want to do is you want to put one hand on the knob, one hand hold the mechanism back here, the switch itself. Don't put any pressure on the trim, and then you want to pull them apart. Of course, that was easy for me. Some are easier than others, but I already had this apart. And that way you're not putting any pressure ultimately on the piece that breaks. So once you remove the knob, you have this nut here. That's a 19 mil, and I can remove it without even a ratchet. I just did it by hand on all of them, even at the junkyard. So once the nut's off, the switch assembly will come out through the back, and then you have this last little piece here. Now what you don't want to do is, because I don't have the broken part in there, oh, it's actually on the switch. So this piece is supposed to be part of this other one here. You don't want to like push with your thumb or whatever in the center, because that's going to be putting pressure on the weak point. So what you can do, which worked at the junkyard really well, take a screwdriver, and there's this little tab right here. Just put a little pressure on that, to push it out. Moves a little bit at the top. You know, it's not a super pressure fit or anything, so you just work it out and it just pops out. So if you follow those steps, if it's still good, you won't break it. I have no idea what a new one costs, but I was junkyard hunting and I found some almost good ones. So, alright, move my stuff over here. So I'm going to do the install with my new panel. Hopefully I don't break this. It's like $70 or whatnot. So I am going to use my switch because I know it works. And I am going to use from the junkyard the part with the light symbols on it. Now, almost good. There is a slight crack. I don't know if you can see it. It's about 12 o'clock. But it's not on the spot that all these have broken, which is around the rim, so it'll have to do for now. Alright, so we're going to put that piece in. No, we're not. What am I doing? Yes, we are. Okay. I want to do this again. There is a little key there. Make sure I got everything. Alright, so that went in pretty easy. Now we have our nut. I'm going to use the same nut that was on my old switch. These, for whatever reason, well, are a little hard to start. That one went right on. I'll take luck any day. I'm going to be very careful. I only want to do like 1/100th of a foot-pound, whatever that is. So, and it's, I guess the plastic threads they're already a little snug, so it's hard to tell when you've actually tightened it all the way. We're just going to go a little bit at a time and see how loose we are. Yeah, it's tough, but I don't want to break it again. Alright, getting there. Alright, it's like almost there, so I'm just going to do a little more. Oh my god, I heard something. Okay. We'll go with that. Can't see it while I'm driving, right? Alright, so we got, this is my old cap, or knob. That's keyed as well. So, oh wait, I want to tell you. Okay. So once again, I don't want to put pressure on this knob alone. That's going to make pressure go to this piece, and then since the bezel is holding it in, I'm pushing against that plastic, the part that breaks. So what I want to do is really, this knob is going on top of that switch. That's the only resistance. So I'm going to hold that switch and push the knob together. I'm not even going to touch this part. So now you heard the snap, but that was the knob on the switch. It had nothing to do with the plastic part on the inside that breaks. There's no pressure on that part. Alright, looks good. Hopefully I won't find out I messed up anything later. Alright, we'll get those components out the way. Now we'll work on our fog light switch. Fog light switch is exactly the same. The way it lights up, the symbol is a little different, but it's not going to affect you at all. As you can see, this one broke out of there, you know, around the rim here. You can get that. Oh, I might have it upside down. Alright, so that's the way it originally was, like that. Another piece is missing somewhere, probably in the car. Alright, so once again we're going to use my existing switch because I know it works. So I got it in there, and then I don't know why I wasn't ready yet. Take apart the junkyard one carefully. Alright. Once again, this one has actually 2 cracks. Well, you know what? It is cracked around the rim a little bit, but oh my god, I don't even want to touch it anymore. Alright, so we're just going to install this. Hopefully it'll be good. So I've got the switch in. Got my round piece in here. Okay, that went in real easy. Alright, we're going to do nut, knob, throw this junk over here. You know, when I'm wiggling it, I see the center piece kind of moving. It's definitely it'll probably crack with my H&R coilovers. It'll probably crack it eventually. Oh, so it's so tough to tell. I mean, I'm surprised. Why would they make, you know, plastic clamp down on itself like this? Just, I would have provided some type of metal insert or something that's going to, you know, get clamped on, but you know, I'm not working for BMW, so. Alright, we're going to go with that. Hopefully that's it. Once again, I'm going to take my knob, just place it on there, and I guess I can do it like this. No pressure on the bezel, just the switch in the back and the knob in the front, and that one snapped in a little quicker than the previous one. Alright, so there we go. And my sweat all over it. It's like 95 degrees or something. And all I need to do is put in my fog light, my dimmer switch. It wants to tell me which way that went. Yeah, looks good. And my blank. Does not want to go in. Oh, there's a difference top and bottom. Didn't I realize that at first, but based on this size, there we go. Alright, so for that part, on the blank itself, it was thinner on the bottom and thicker on the top. The thicker part goes on the top. Looks like there's a little bit of a gap there, but alright. Now we'll go and talk about removing it from the car and installing it in the car and trying to save these tabs. Alright, so outside of the car we have the left side of the steering wheel, you know, trim, wood trim, if you're awesome, you have aluminum trim or whatever. So, these stupid things, which I can't stand, they're in the E39 and E46. I had a rough time getting this one out. It ended up ripping, you know, this is what it's supposed to look like, but it pulled the whole insert out with it. So what I want to do here is, since I'm going to get one chance to do this, I want to see if spraying glass cleaner, not WD-40 because I don't want to get that on the interior, if I were removing this on the inside, how much would it help getting this off? I mean, I've tried and pried and I still can't get this part off. I don't know what BMW is expecting, but so I'm gonna film this seeing if it actually works. So let's see what happens. Try to get it to drip in there a little bit. And I'm gonna pry this out right in my face. I mean, that's like a lot of force and it's still not coming out. Well, I don't want to. Huh. Okay, so working it back and forth like I just did, I guess sort of walked it up. Whether I can do that in the car, I'm not 100% sure. But when I get back in the car, I'm going to put that where it's supposed to be. Hopefully install this for the last time, so I don't want to take it back out again. Alright, we're back in the car. I got my my piece right here, a little insert. Thank you, BMW. Alright, according to this side, it has the piece, you know, oblong left to right. So I can see that makes sense with these little tabs. One of them sort of damaged because of what I've done already. And I wasn't the first one to take this apart, so who knows what used to be here. But alright, so we get this guy in the hole. No, we don't. Alright, sorry. I used to hold this camera. You know what? Maybe it doesn't go that way. Or maybe it goes that way and you rotate it. Yeah, at this point I'm not even really caring. Oh yeah, I guess I will care. Alright, let's try a screwdriver. Sorry for the cameraman, known as me. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I want to talk a little bit about how to pry this sucker off right here. So there are many ways, but I believe through my junkyard experience, there might be a way to try to save those tabs on the, you know, the cluster trim. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and install the trim. Alright, I guess we're going to have to one-hand this. So plug in our white, which is the farthest one. Easy enough. Dimmer switch. By the way, the dimmer switch is the correct way. I had taken a picture of the dash before I went to the junkyard, so always take pictures of what you're working on. It helped me so many times. And the fog light. Try not to damage anything. Oh, sorry. Alright, there we go. Once again, I'm not putting any pressure on that bezel. Or instrument trim. Oh, what? I just noticed. Look at this. I didn't even notice this before. There is all these stupid inserts right here. And that's for this piece. And then over here, there's an insert here and, well, piece of the old one. I just literally just found this out. Now I gotta figure out how to get the piece in there out. Awesome. Alright, I'm gonna figure that out off camera. So, after this fiasco, we have the hole empty. And we have what was the insert in pieces because, you know, quite frankly, it's just a piece of crap. Tried prying it off with probably the proper tool, you know, interior tool, and then that comes off of it. So couldn't pry it out, so I just tried to push it, you know, went behind the dash. Luckily, using the selfie cam on the phone, I was able to find it where it was and, you know, use my hand to grab it. I guess that's the insert that holds it. Well, since these things are stupid, and I believe with 3 screws on the bottom and 3 on the top, and of course this other, you know, retaining clip there, I think it still should be solid. So we'll see what happens. Alright, once again we're back to Oscar level cameraman. Alright, so this trim piece here, as you can see, the 2 posts go into the, you know, clips, or well, I don't even know what they're called, but pulling them out, damn near impossible. So what I learned at the junkyard, I kind of figured out what not to do, at least. So if you have, just imagine that's there. If you have a screwdriver, or, you know, I was trying to use the interior tools, but they weren't even strong enough. If you reach underneath and then pry, where you're like pushing down, the top of the screwdriver is coming at you, what's going to happen is my beige interior here is going to pull at you, and what's happening is, so there's normally screws here at this point, so you're pulling against these tabs, and this of course would be secure, so you could potentially pull the tabs right off, or at least start them to crack, even if the screws are in there. This is solid, you know. Oh, something just fell down here. Oh yeah, that was from the old one, I remember that. Okay. Even with the screws in there, a lot of this plastic pieces here will flex a little bit, and all you need is a little bit to start the crack, and, you know, and after that you're pretty much done. So what I'm going to recommend is, whatever you do, always, if you're going like this with a screwdriver, pull towards you and put pressure against this piece right here, like forward. So that way that part is not going to move and then, you know, break your clips, hopefully. You know, I've yet to see one of these in the junkyard where they're not broken. So now what I'm going to do is, how do you know when all this is in here? I mean, I didn't know where they were at. You can pull it. The first thing I did was from the left, where my thumb is on this side. You know, I would put the interior tool in there, and it would pop out usually, but I couldn't tell where the other parts were. So I'm going to show you with a tape measure where those are at, so you can get as close as you can, you know, to get the most torque on there. And do not put the screwdriver up here and then pry, and you're going to be right on the tabs, breaking them. Oops, sorry about the camera. Right on these tabs here. You don't want the screwdriver there. So using, alright, we'll try this. Using a tape measure, you can see these. This post, it's about, you know, it's center, so it's hard to do this with a camera. About 1 inch and 5/8 from, you know, the driver's side of the car, and the other one is, now you can see, inch and 5/8. I'm sure that's some metric number exactly right. So if you really want to try to do this right, you know where those are at, so you can separate those the best you can. If you try it, good luck. Oh, also spray a liberal amount of glass cleaner in there, and hopefully you can successfully remove it without damaging anything. If you do, send me a link to the video. I'd like to see it. Alright, on the other side, for whatever reason, I'm not even sure if I'm missing something here. I don't know why this is so loose. But once again, we have tab for the molding, the trim, and we have this tab on the cluster trim, which the screw will go into. So for that piece, it's a little shorter. You can't get them mixed up, they won't fit. So this one goes right here. As you can see, 2 tabs. And just like before, I'm going to measure these so you know. Alright, starting from the driver's side again. We got, what's that, 1 and 1/4, a little bit more than 1/4, maybe 3/8 in between. Close enough. And on the other side, need a better camera setup. That's 1 and 7/8. So you can kind of know where to pry at. Stay away from the middle on this one. That guy's right there. So with your camera, with a screwdriver, maybe you can pry in there. I don't know if I would try here. Over here is not really much to pry on, but for some reason this one wasn't as bad. I don't know why. So, alright, well, as far as, since I did this in reverse, installing all this is going to be pretty easy. We're going to put, screw down there, put on the molding. Actually, I'll probably wait for the molding last. Over here, 2 screws. They're Phillips screws, by the way. And then, if I can get up here, there's a screw in the center, 2 on either side. Those screws are, seeing that, Torx bit. Sorry, it's getting dark outside, so. Torx bit, that is a T10. So T10 for those. Now, I didn't have any trouble pulling mine off out of these tabs. The ones in there. Looking at the camera. And that one, this one was broke, so obviously that came off. Junkyard ones didn't have an issue either, so maybe they're not that bad. But something to watch out for if you're snagging up while taking it out. Alright, since it's kind of hard for me to do this while holding the phone, I'm going to put in the screws and come back. Alright, so I got the screws in. They're not tight. Wanted to talk about the screws a little bit. So, it's plastic. Don't tighten the hell out of it. That's what I tell some of my young guys at work. Tight as hell is not the proper torque spec for every single fastener ever made. So it's plastic. I've gotten them almost all the way in, so I'm just turning it until it basically everything mates up, and then more. Right there, that's all I need. It's just plastic. It's not like your wheel's gonna fall off while you're driving. It's not that critical. So this one here, just until it's snug a little. I'm gonna stop right there. And this guy here, probably need a stubby for this one, but It's freaking hot. I don't feel like going to the toolbox to get it. So a little snug, a little more. And that's good. Same with these top ones. And I swear that whoever had this apart before. Oh, let me get a flashlight in there. Alright. Sorry, one day I'll get this. Alright, so these screws up here, you know, Hercules must have been working on this before because every fastener was broken. I mean, the plastic was broken. So I don't even know if I'm going to use the ratchet. I have the ratchet socket. Maybe if you have a screwdriver type or a handheld one, you can do it. But the screw, where am I at? The screw is recessed up in there. I'm probably just going to do this by hand, honestly. I see the plastic is moving when I'm tightening it. And the center one was the one that was broke. That was a piece you saw earlier fall down. So that's all I'm doing for that one. These ones on the side are actually at an angle, I would say like 30 degrees from center. So it might throw you off if you're not paying attention. Tighten that one by hand. Snug, we're good. And the last one, see if I can get up under there. Yeah, sorry for the lighting. I'm not a pro at this. Alright, so we're going to leave that at that. It's in there. Probably should have done this before, but before you put everything together, check, make sure all your switches still work. Alright, I had to get a couple of things, so we're going to put this trim up here. And I've never done it before, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to use the glass cleaner, the Aston Martin Special, if you watch, well, you used to watch IMSA. So I'm going to spray a little bit of this on these posts. You know, it'll dry, shouldn't damage anything, hopefully. Alright, wiped off the excess. Now I'm going to put it on here, and I don't want to smash the hell out of it like I probably would on the passenger side. So, try to get it just in there enough. Oh, sorry. I can get this camera right. Okay, it's just sort of sliding in. And I think we're good. A little reflection from the, yeah, hanging a little low on the inside, but hopefully that should be good. And one of the reasons I was doing this was because I was getting vibration from the dash, being kind of sick of it. So now we'll try the other side, find out where I hid the trim for myself. And right in plain sight, of course. So we will find the glass cleaner, do a little spray. Just like that. Wipe off the excess. And see how this puppy goes on. Feel like it's going to hang a little on the inside, but we'll see. Ugh. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's all the way in, but that'll have to do, and we'll see if it gets rid of the vibration. Actually, I see a little gap right over there. And that gap that was there was that post going on that clip. And when it went in, it sounded horrible. But hopefully it's okay. Definitely, oh, Just pushing it, I hear creaking. I don't know how this is going to turn out. This side, a little loose, but honestly it feels a little better. And that doesn't have the clip on it. Alright, well, you know what? Looking at that side, this piece is definitely too low. So I may have to pull that back out and try that again. We'll see how it works. Alright, so yeah, this piece is a little low. I actually did not screw that in tight enough, which is fine, I guess. But I had to push up from the bottom and then tighten the screw. And now when I pull down, it seems fine. And it's higher up than before. So we'll go ahead and throw molding back on. Definitely think that glass cleaner is the way to go. It came off a lot smoother than before. You actually feel it moving. Maybe if you have glass cleaner with a straw, you know, like WD-40 straw, you can angle it back in there on those posts. I hope that, you know, this will help you not break anything. We all know how that sucks. So anyway, please give a thumbs up, or you know, subscribe to. Might have other videos coming, all different types, racing, sim racing, and you know, maybe working on cars. So thanks for watching. One pro tip: the glass cleaner again on these suckers. Slips right in, no resistance, no breakage.